Hello and welcome back. I hope that you enjoyed the extra little bonus video that we've just done, because I started looking at what I was doing and I thought, actually, let's just jump back in and have a little go together, because for the circle I used, let's see, where have you disappeared to? There we are. I used 1.2 because I found that it was it made the circle sort of pop a bit, as you can see. Even with all the wire work, if you like, you can still see the circle there. And remember, with yours, if you haven't got a thicker pen, just keep going until you get the thickness that, you know, that helps it to pop. Because as we're drawing or colouring in the circles, we need to see where they are on the page so that we can find them. And we can always, again, go over them with the pen, and I will see if I need my 1.2 again, but I've just got it to hand just in case. And what we're going to do, let me just grab a piece of paper. Because what I'm going to, typical, it's rolled off, here we go. So what we're going to do now is to colour in the circles so that they look dome-like, they look 3D on our page. And right at the beginning I mentioned about the colour that you're choosing, and I suggested to choose a dark colour because then it's easier to bring it out into the light, to the light colour. So what I was suggesting is doing this first, getting your colour down and finding out how dark it goes. So I'm just going to keep going, and I can see this is getting quite dark. And now as I move my pencil along, I'm releasing the tension. I'm taking off the pressure rather as I'm going along. So I'm going a bit harder there, and I'm gradually lifting up my fingers, well, the lead, the pencil, like so. And this is how I can tell how it's going to be, just some idea of how it's going to be when I go into my circle. The other thing is, I mentioned about getting having a black color pencil as well. If you don't have it, use your HB pencil. It will do the same thing, but it will be a bit harsh, but it's still good. Okay, so we're using the black to get the darker shade so that we get the dome. Let me do it with the pencil just so that you can see the difference. If I do that dark and just quickly do this, let me grab the pencil. Okay, this is my HB pencil, and I'm going to go over the top so you can see there is a difference. As I said, it works just as well, and in fact, yeah, I think I'm going to introduce it as well as part of what we do. Okay, like I was saying, that's the wonderful thing about crafting, doing stuff like this as we go along. I think, oh, I think I'll do that instead. Or let's try this. So the thing is that, just to clarify, what we need for this section are the two pencils, your dark color and your black pencil, coloring pencil. Have the HB pencil handy, and we're going to need the eraser, and we're going to hold on to our sponge. And remember, this one's a makeup sponge, but you can use a sponge that you'd in the kitchen, the normal sponge that you'd use around the house. You can cut that up as well and try and get a little point. It's not essential because it will have sort of edges, won't it? And you can just gently use the bit of the edge of that. But the thing is, when we get there, is to be careful, because it can act as an eraser. So we're just going to go gently, and it doesn't matter if some does come off, we'll just add a bit more. So if this happens whilst we're doing this, it's perfect, because then you can see how it doesn't matter and we can just keep going. So what we haven't done yet is we haven't removed the pencil markings of where we started with. So I'm going to go in with the eraser. Now remember, the eraser needs to be a soft one, because what we don't want it to do is to be so hard that it's not only taking off the paper, it may take off some of the pen that we've put down, and it will make the colour go a bit grey. But if it does do that, just go over it again with your pen. Okay, so I'm going to gently just pull up my sleeve. I'm just going to gently, take your time, and I suggest working. If I zoom out a little bit, there we go, so you can see better. Oh, the sleeves are just going for walks. I'm just going to keep going, just gently. For me, I'm going to go all the way down and up like this. And as I'm going along, like for here, I can see that there's a pen mark. So I'm going to find my 0.1 and I'm going to integrate it like so. And that's the good thing, you can continue doing this. Like that. See, there's another one there. And I'm just going to integrate it. And the best way to do it is as we're doing it. As you see it, then just continue, just add it in as we've done there. The ones in the circle, unless it's really obvious, I would say leave it. So for example, this one here has got lots of extra markings. I'm going to leave it because it's just going to add to the texture, the patterns that's going on in the circle when we come to doing our dome effect, our 3D effect. Like for example, I can see there's one there. Yep. Where'd it go? There we go. So it's just a little one. So I'm just going to gently bring it into the fold. And to add another one here, I think. There. You see what I mean? Just gently bring it in and it's part of the family. So it's going to go down. So I'm going to leave these bits. Just going to make sure that the pencil marking is gone, because this is the best time to remove it. because otherwise we're going to be removing our pencil. And take your time. Remember to just breathe into it. It's still supposed to be part of that relaxation experience. This is just another stage. Just clearing it out. For us to do the 3D effect. Okay, so I'm going to put my eraser down to the side. I think that is good as it is. Oh, I spotted one bit there. Let's have a quick closer look, I think. That's it. Okay. So now I'm going to pick up the pencils. So the first one we're going to start off with is our color one. And I'm using Ultramarine Violet from the Castle Arts selection, Soft Touch. And if you've got it, it's number 040. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in so you can have a closer look. Oops, I think that might be too much. Here we go. So now let's pick one. Let's pick this large one because then it's easier to see than the small one. You can have a really good look at how the shaping occurs. So if you remember at the beginning, I was saying that it's not about thinking about the direction in which the light is coming in on. You can decide that. You can also decide of what is showing behind each other or casting a shadow on each other. So we're going to have a little go at doing that too, so that we can see how we can show that there's a cast or shadow on each part, and that they're, you know, where the lightest part is going to be. Because wherever the lightest part is going to be, that's the bit that's going to look higher. Okay, so to start off with, what we're going to do is we're going to just color the whole thing in very lightly with our color. Now you've got an option. You can color it in like this, or you can color it in holding it like a pencil. I'll just show you again in the screen. So you can hold it like this if you want to, or you can hold it down like this, so then you've got this sort of action, so that feels nice. Or when you're doing it, holding it down here means that you've got lots of control over what you're doing. So that is an option. Or you can hold it slightly away. So what I'm saying is that you've got two techniques. You can do it this way, however you feel you want to hold it, here or down here. Or if you want to, you can hold it underneath. The main thing is that you are careful about the pressure that you're putting down onto the page. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to color the whole thing in first with light, but for you to know your pressure, the best thing to do is to just do this all the way down to the page, and once you start seeing the color, that's your pressure. And also that will give you the pressure of what you want, the darkness or lightness you want. So as I said, we're going to start off lightly. It'll be even lighter there. It's only because I was just showing you the different bits, but be as light and as gentle I'm just going to go around. I'm not going to say anything for a little while until I finish colouring this in, because this is all part of the process of just relaxing in a meditative way to mode. And take your time. Excuse me. Okay, I'm nearly finished. Okay, so now I'm going to be doing the next layer, but before I do the next layer, I'm going to decide where I want the dome to be, so the top part of it. I'm going to make it around here. So the best way to start is to make it larger than you want it to be, so that you can come into that area and reshape it as you get closer to finishing your dome. So I'm going to mark it like this. So I'm taking the pencil. You may not, hope you can see it, but I'm starting to just make a circle where I'd like it to be. Now it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be in the same place as mine, because it's the same principle. So just decide where you want yours to be. And the only thing to think of is to make it quite large. And I've just marked it a little bit so it reminds me of where that place is. So now I'm going to do the next stage. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm not going to come as far as here. I'm going to be working the dark and the light part up to about here to begin with. So we give ourselves a bit more space to work out the gradient between the darkness and the lighter one. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold my pencil up here so that you can see better. Again, now I'm going back in. I'm still not using a lot of pressure. I'm still going lightly, because that's the thing about pencil. It's more about layers rather than going in dark. So I'm staying on one side for now, and I'm going to bring it up. So just bringing it light as we did before. So we're going on here and going up. So here, the darker part, I'm going over it a bit more, and then I'm gradually lifting up the pencil till I get to about here. I'm just going to work my way around doing this. And also the reason for going up to that part is because for me, the circle, the lighter part is on this side. So I'm going to be mindful when I get to around here what I'm doing and how the gradient's going to come up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep going here. Again, I'm not going heavy on it. All I'm doing is going over the top until I see it darken, and then I'm going to bring it up just slightly. I'm going to go around to here, and as much as possible colour in the white parts, but it doesn't matter, it's your colouring. If you prefer and you like those light spots, then great. So here it's much closer to the edge, the dark edge, than there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go a little bit like this, and then I'm only going to go about here. I'm not going to go too close. I'm going to stop just shy. Don't know, for me it's around half a centimetre maybe. And I'm just going to go around, because what we're going to do is make this one colour do all the hard work. And you can see that I've gone from holding it quite high to holding it so that I'm using the side of the lead rather than just using the point. Because I am thinking that that's what I want to do, is to use that part of the lead. Now what I'm going to do is to think of one area at a time. So I'm going to look at this part here, and what I'm looking at is I want to ensure that when I go from the dark, by the time I get to here, it's actually it's becoming so light that it will blend into this area. So what I mean is that I'm going to start off dark down the bottom here, the base, and I'm going to gradually again use the hand to raise the pencil up to create that shading. And as I'm doing it, I'm thinking about how far up I want the shadow to be. At this stage, I'm thinking I'm not ready to make that decision yet. I want to keep going round and then build it up again. So for me, I'm going to keep going round, so you can do so too. But as I always say, is to look at what's in front of you. You can see your artwork and how your artwork is coming together. And again, this is showing you that literally you can go out with one colour pencil. You can even just use the one pencil, your HB pencil, and still be able to do all of this. You see, I'm just working around the outside now, because what I'm thinking is that now I'm ready to start thinking about the dark areas more. And just before I do that, I'm going to pick up my sponge, and I'm going to gently, very, very lightly, start doing a circular motion and pulling it up into the middle. And I'm just doing it very gradually. And as you can see, it lightens even the dark areas, as you can see. But that's okay. For me, it feels as if it's softening that base so that the rest of the blending will come together quite nicely. Alright, so yours should look a bit more lighter now around the outside. That's okay now. I think I'm going to put the sponge to the side, and I'm going to now concentrate on the dark areas first around the edging. So to do that, I'm going to make sure that right around that I don't go too high. So I'm only going to go about this height here to begin with. So I'm going to go around, and I'm going to get this dark to the darkness that I want it to be. So I'm going to keep going. Now remember that you've got your paper. Is that the one I used? Yep. So what you can do, if you're not sure, double check and just keep going, just to check how dark it can go, just to jog your memory. So that's why it's good to have that nearby, or just scribble again. And also it gives you an idea of your pressure as well. So I'm just going to work my way around, all the way around. And take your time. And remember to breathe. It's always good to remember to breathe. Because I tend to do, I get so sort of focus into it that suddenly I'm taking a breath, thinking, oh yes, I'm not breathing. Need to breathe. Okay, so going to come in a bit, because now I've gone round. I'm just going to come in a bit, and you can see just slightly higher, because I'm going to start working in the gradient now. So I'm going from the edge, and I'm bringing it up slightly, the same way that we've done before. So it's going from the edge, don't need to go from the bottom, from the edge, and as you bring it up, if you go away from, for me, it's going away from me, I'm going to start lightening my tension, like so. Because the best way of doing this, like this, is because then you've got more control over how you want the dome bit to look, because the darker the dome, especially on the outside, the more the top will sit up on look higher, and it will be, you'll see that we'll start using the black to help us do so as well, to get the darker areas. So now what we're doing, we're just trying to get a bit more of the shape into place, so that when we come to use the black, we've got a good idea of the shape and how it may look. You see, I'm just bringing it up closer. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm going from the edge this time of where we stopped on the previous row, and I'm doing the same. I'm going dark and I'm coming to light. And as you can see, I'm now going up close to the circle. So let's do it again from that edge. I'm just going here. All the way around. Okay, and don't worry if you feel you've done it too dark. Remember, we can always make out here even darker so that it's got the same look and feel. Okay, I think that's good for a base. And also just be mindful of still getting that blended between the different levels of dark to light. Just want to make sure that it's a smooth transition, that it's blended in nicely. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to pick up the black pencil. We're going to be working the two pencils together now. And the thing about using the black pencil, it's going to be in the same way that we used our color pencil. We're not going to go in deep and dark to begin with. We're going to go over the edges bit by bit. So now to start off with, I'm going to take my black pencil and I'm going to go all the way around the outside as close to the border as we can, and really we should be putting it right up against the border. So like so. I'm just going to keep doing this lightly until, well, if you can see that, it's slightly now starting to show the black. It's now starting to show that it's really making that area dark. So I'm going to keep going around. And again, for me, it's just under 1/2 centimetre. So I'm doing it, the darkness I'm doing is that it matches the outside, the outline of the circle. So just take your time. I'm saying the best thing to do is to ensure that you're going around and take your time. And you can see what I'm doing is I'm starting small and then working my way up to be larger. Okay, just make sure that it's nice and dark and it's right up to the edge. Okay, I'm nearly there now. Okay, so now what I'm going to start doing, I'm going to hold my colour one in my hand as well. As I was saying, I'm looking at how I want the dome to look. Now, for me, I can see that this part may be darker than here because I want this to look, the top to look as if it's going towards me. So I'm going to work on that in sections. So I feel what I'm going to do is to work on this part first, and then to work that up to here, and then from there we'll see where to go next. So you're starting to hear how my brain is working. This is me thinking out loud what I am doing, and how I'm thinking about how I'm actually going to make the colors and make the shape looks the way that I want it to look. And the reason why I'm doing it in this way, that hopefully you'll have that thought process, and you'll be able to change it to what suits you. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus down here. So I'm going to go in with the black and bring it in, because I want there to be dark, and I'm going to bring this up into the light. Yeah, just bringing it up so that it should start to look grey there. So I'm starting from where I stopped on the other black, and I'm moving it up just slightly. You should be now seeing that this looks as if it's popping, because the idea is that hopefully you can start to see it, that this looks as if it's coming through this gap here. You see, I'm just going up with the black until it looks grey. We don't want it to look black all the way up to there. So we're doing the same thing. We're going to the edge, and we're just bringing it up a little bit with the pressure. So it's a little heavier here, not too much, not as much as here. And then as we get closer, we go a lot lighter. So I'm going to stop there a moment, and I'm going to go in with the colour, and I'm lightly going to go over the whole thing. And the reason why I'm doing this is that I want to give it the dark blue colour, so that what the black is doing, it's making this even more deeper than how we were going around. So that's how we're starting to use the black, for both ways, for ensuring that we've got that darker area that we need in order to show this the shape. And we've also got the blue for where it's starting to become grey, that grey starts to look more like the blue, and the black bits, when we go over it, will have a tint of the blue as well. So it's down here. Getting carried away. So I'm just going to go lightly over that. Hopefully you can start to see what's happening. I'm just going back in with the black, and I'm going to stop there, because remember I'm saying it's a building process. So now what I'm going to do, I'm actually not going to go to the sides. I'm going to jump across, and I'm going to go in with the black, and again right up to the border. I'm adding the depth by going over and over the black, rather than pressing down hard. It's better to do it layer by layer. Now what I'm thinking about now is how far across I want to go. Now I'm sort of looking at it like this. This is how I'm looking at my circle. And what I'm thinking is that I want it to be sort of around here. I want to make it dark around to these 2 points, roughly. So I'm going to just do that. So I want to stop here. So I'm going to just do this so I know, roughly. Still going to do that mark. You can see that I'm actually lightly, so I'm a bit heavier here. And I'm raising the lead the pencil to still get that light. And I'm going to go to about here on mine. So I'm looking at a V shape. All right. So now I'm going to try and focus on this area here. So dark, and then I'm going to work our way up just a little way, not too high at this point, until it turns grey or a hint of grey. And now I'm going to go back in with my pencil, my colour pencil, and I'm just going to go over all of it up to here. Like I said, it's to ensure that even with the black, the dark bits, that it has the colour of the blue, a hint of the blue. So I'm just working my way up a little bit. So every time I'm going into the gradient, I'm not going all the way back, because if I do that, that means I'm adding more colour to it and therefore making it even more darker. So when I'm doing it, I have to ensure that what I'm doing is I'm starting from the edge of the previous layer, if you like, that I left it at, and then to gradually bring it up. So it's the same technique we've been using the whole time, but it's being mindful that when you go over that same area, you're likely that it will become dark. The trick is, well, I don't know how much of a trick it is, but some of you may remember, is the eraser. You can always use the eraser. I'm going to use it just to knock back. So as you can see, I am gently going over it. And it's another way of blending. You can see what I'm doing is I'm getting rid of the eraser part. And the other thing is to be careful, because you can get little blue marks like that, but I'm not worried about it. It's mine and I like it. Okay, so I'm going to go back in again with the blue, sorry, with the black, and go in and put this black in. So it's almost like just knocking it back rather than starting again, thinking of it, knocking it back so that you can rebuild it. And now I'm going to go down the sides a little bit. Bring this back down. We went for a walk. Yeah, so I'll just go back here. This is what I was doing, just in case it was off screen. So from the edge and up a little bit, because what you want is the black really to turn to a light grey, and before it gets to there, so just to the edge of where the sort of halfway midway between the very dark and the very light of the blue. And as I've been saying, is to do it lightly rather than going in hard, because then it's easier to add than to take away, because as I was showing you, it can get quite messy. Yeah, so doing this, it's a gradual process. So again, now what I'm looking at is that I'm going to keep going. I think I might just focus on this side for a little bit and then come down here. So for this, I'm going to make the color go into light around here. So this up to here is going to be my lightest point. Because remember, we're working towards this area. So little by little is the best way to do it. So from this side, remember I was saying that this is going to be the top, and this is going to be the bit that's sort of sticking, the very lightest point. So it does look as if the ball is rolling in that direction. So I'm going to start off here. Again, I've gone with the blue, and I'm going to work the blue now. So I'm going in on the dark bit and coming lighter and lighter as I lift up my pencil. So I'm rubbing it in normally, and I'm coming up and up, and I'm going to do that all the way around. Remember, just as you're getting closer to here, you're getting lighter. And I'm mindful that this is the area that I will be making the darkest, because it's going to be more in the shade than the top part here. So I've still got the blue in my hand. I'm just trying to hold it where you can see it. Okay. So now I'm going to do is continue with the blue. I'm going to leave I'm still holding on to the black pencil, but I'm going to hold it to the side. And I'm just now going to start doing more of the blending from the edge of where I can see that the mid sort of color is, lightness is. Remember, have a look at yours and see where it is for you. So from here I can see that's where my dark turns to a bit lighter, and the light one I'm going to just eyeball it and say it's about here. So I'm going to bring that closer from the edge as I'm working this bit in a bit more. Like this. Okay, just want to do a bit more there. Again, just have a look. It's yours. Don't worry about it not being too dark yet. We're working in layers. Okay, so as I was saying, I'm going to start working more down here. So what I'm doing now is I am starting to really go over and over again on this part here, because I want this to be really dark. When I'm going in with my blue pencil first, I'm going to stop around here to begin with, and I'll see from that point, especially after I've done the rest of it, if I need to go a bit higher or whatever it requires. So I'm going in with the black again, because I really want to make sure that I'm working in that colour, and I'm going to go up a bit higher now. Again, making it grey. Don't go all the way up quite heavy. Just always from the bottom, you know, start like this, but as you're going up, to turn it into that grey, just release some of the pressure that you're pressing down with your pencil. Okay, so I'm going to go in again. And you can see I am using that blue and being mindful of that's my colour, my lighter colour bit. And you can see now as I've gone there, that line is starting to sort of disappear. And I'm going to now start working my way around. So doing the same thing, but now what I'm going to do is I'm not going to use the black yet until I can go around here and check how the blue is looking now. So again, just make sure that you're always going over the bit before. And you can see I'm bringing my pencil, lifting it lighter, making it lighter. So it's going over and over and then up and up. And I'm just going to go around here and blend it in. You see now I'm from here and I'm now going the other way, going out and into the darker shaded area. I hope now you're starting to see yours starting to look more like a dome, more 3D. You see I'm just going, I'm going to come up a bit more, not too much. I think actually that's about right. Don't want it to go too far because this bit is still going to be the bit that's sticking up. So I'm going to keep going. And this is what you will be doing. You can see what's in front of you. And once you get going and you can start to see the shading and how the light in the dark bit needs to be. You can see I've purposely not worked in this area yet because this will be whatever this area will look like, will determine how light or if I need to add any more color or what to do in that area. So that's the reason why I'm spending more time on these areas. So I'm starting to see that it's giving me that sort of 3D sticking out effect. I'm still using my color. And I'm starting to feel that actually here is okay. Up to this point here, I'm going to not make it any darker. This is where I want it to stay the blue color and come up just slightly. Again, I'm starting to blend those markings in. And I hope you're starting to see it on your page. I'm going to go in with the black again now. And I need this to be even more darker. And I might take it up a slightly, but let's have a look. I'm going to start by doing it right on the edge first. Okay, I'm going to take it up just slightly, not too much, because you still don't want the dark to be too close to here. Just about this sort of distance is what I'm looking at, but it's going to be grey by the time it gets here. It's not going to be black all the way, at least at this point. And the good thing about doing it like this, you can keep going and keep adjusting it until you get it the way that you want it to be. So I'm going to do so. I've still got the black in my hand, and I'm now going to start looking at where. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm working my way around. I don't want this to be too far to the edge, so that the grey, I'm going to make it finish around here, I feel, at the moment. I'm going to bring this part up a little bit. I'm just eyeballing it. That's all I'm doing. And the good thing about doing it lightly and in stages, it gives you thinking time, thinking room. Okay, I think that's enough of the black. I'm going to be working in more of the blue now. So I'm going to go over the dark parts. And I'm going to, in layers, not pressing hard, just going over and over places where I put the black so that it's more of the blue that is dark rather than just having the black, because you've already got black around the edges. I'm going to do that first. And now I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to do here first, I think. So remember, there's going to be more light on here than there is down here, but we still got to be mindful of making sure that we do the gradient as well. So say I'm going to stop about here, make sure it's light around to this point. So here, I'll bring it lighter. And keep going. Okay, so now it's at this point and I can really see this circle in the middle now. I'm just going to start the blending of it into here. Now the blending, only do it around the outside. So I'm holding it as light as possible. So I'm even holding it down here so that I don't, I let go of having that control and pressing down. I'm less likely to press down if I'm holding it back here. So then what I'm doing is I'm doing the light thing. So keep doing this, and as soon as you feel the paper underneath your lid, stop there and colour from that point, because that's the amount of pressure that you need for this part. So all I'm doing is like we did with the others, I'm just softening it out. So I'm blending from here and then I'm going light. So do the blending and come out light. Yep, so you're going over and over, because you'll start to see the colour in front of you. You'll start to see the colour darken a little bit. Once you see that, just gently come into the middle, just a little way, and very lightly, and then lift up your pencil lid, like so. So you should be seeing now that that circle is now blended in rather than really sticking out. Okay, so now I'm just going to still go in there, add a few more touches because I want it to be more blue. So you have a look at yours. I think I still want it to be a bit dark down here, so I'm going to pick up my black. And I still want to add a bit here. So you do the same. You have a look at yours. And remember, if you want to go back a bit or you want to lighten it, you can use your sponge. And remember, just gently do it. So you can see that it's not just blending it in, it's actually removing some of the colour off the top. So that's an example. You can go back in and just touch it up again. Don't think of it starting again. You're just going in and touching it up to get the look that you want. Okay, so I'm going to go back in. I really want to see more of the blue up here than the black. You can have a bit of the grey, but we really want to make sure that we see more of that. So I'm going over the black because really what I want it to do is to look as if it's the darker color of the same. The blue that we're using is darker. Get my words together. Okay, so you should be seeing it happening now. You see, I've just put my pencil lid flat as well, lead rather, flat as well. You see, I'm just doing it by eye. I need to go in here a bit more. Until I get the look. I think I'm happy with this. She says, and she's still in there. Okay. All right, I'm going to stop there. So you can see how you can continue creating and working on that until it looks like the dome. Okay, looking more 3D. And you'll find as you go along to do the other bubbles, you will look at the ones that you've done before and you'll start to adjust them based on what's around them and how it looks like in front of you. And again, that is something that you will have to decide on whilst you're there. So this is the end of this session, and just to remember the journey that we took. We first of all, we did a bit of meditation to come into this space. We then drew the circles. We then did the lines. So we spent 30 seconds and we went round and doing all the lines that we're doing in an intuitive way without any control with the pencil. And then we went into each one of the circles and we went over the circle with a 0.1 in this instance to go over just inside each one of the circles, and we softened each one of the edges, any pointers, with curve in it so that there aren't any pointed edges, so that we're softening parts of our thoughts. That's edges, the stressors, we're curving that in. Okay, so removing those points, and then from there we then continue to do the rest of the pencils. We went over again, still using the 0.1, and at the and around, going around here, remember we used the 0.5 to make the circles, which I forgot, apologies. So once we made the circle with let me just get it just beside me here, with the protractor, we did it with pencil and we just worked out where we wanted it to be, and then we went over it with the 0.5 to bring it out. But then when I went away and I came back, jumped back in again, then I said that really what I prefer to use, stick on walkies, possibly, there we go, here it is, the 1.2. I decided that the 1.2 for me gave me the depth that I'm looking for what I wanted. So I'm suggesting, even if you can't get this, consider making it even more wider. And the other thing I was going to finish off with is that you can, as we're going, as you see, maybe when you've done all the others, you might want to add some more depth or go over like this. Yeah, just to get some more definition. So think about that for yours if that's something that you want to do once you're looking at your piece. And the last thing that we did in this session was to create the dome by using two colors. The main blue color, which is the dark color, or whatever color you've chosen, that it is dark enough for you to get that dark shading, or the shading that you want it to be down to be darker, because you can always use the black or a gray to get the darker, get it much more darker than the color, actual color it is that you've chosen, like we've done here. So it worked, for example, with a yellow, even orange. All that will act with the same technique, using the gray or a brown. It's something that you will play around with before getting onto here and see how it looks. So that's, as I was saying, this is where we're going to finish off, and I'll leave you to finish off the rest of your circles. And please join us on in the Facebook group, Crafting Wellbeing. You'll find the link down below, and I'd love to see some of your artwork in there, to share some of your artwork in that space where it's safe and it is a private place, so you'd need me to give you the okay to get through. But as long as you agree to our rules, then everyone's welcome, of course. All right, so thank you for today and see you soon. Bye. Thank you for dropping by and crafting with me today. Please remember to like, share and subscribe to my channel. You are welcome to join the Crafting Wellbeing Facebook group. You'll find the link down below. I look forward to you coming back and crafting with me again. See you soon.